Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back. We're here with some NFL DFS picks and lineup advice for tonight's single game showdown slate. Thursday night football, Cincinnati Bengals, Miami Dolphins. In this video, we look at injuries that impact the slate, low risk and high risk lineup construction tips, and general strategies to help get you to the top of those contest leaderboards. Welcome. I'm Brian Jester, co founder here at Occupy Fantasy. Single game, $1 million winner. If you're not subscribed already, make sure you do so. If you like the videos, give us a thumbs up. Any questions, comment on the YouTube video below. We'll get back to you later this afternoon, or more in-depth discussions in our Discord server, occupyfantasy.com/Discord. All right, let's get into it. So you see a bunch of questionable tags for tonight if you open up DraftKings or FanDuel. Jalen Waddle, questionable. Tua Tagovailoa, questionable. Both these guys are expected to play. Obviously, the Tua non-concussion was a big story on Sunday and early in the week. He's got back and ankle issues. Will that affect him? Maybe, but he is going to suit up. Cedric Wilson only played 5 snaps last week. Has been questionable with multiple injuries. Hasn't really played a big part outside of the largest GPPs. You're not really considering him anyways, and that's really about it. So really, not too many injuries to concern ourselves with tonight. Situationally, it's a pretty interesting game because Miami played divisional rival Buffalo on Sunday in the heat down in South Florida, and Buffalo ran 90 plus plays. Miami's defense was on the field for 90 plus plays. Their offense wasn't, only 35 or 40 plays, whatever it was. But their defense, now on a short week traveling to Cincinnati, not a great situational spot. It's a big reason why we saw some betting market movements in favor of Cincinnati throughout the week. So just something to consider. And considering that they are underdogs and the way the pricing shakes out, and just these two offenses in general, most DFS players, the field, won't be interested in playing Miami heavy lineups. We'll get to that more when we get to the high risk lineup strategy portion of the show. Let's talk about low risk contests though. 50-50s, double ups, head to heads, contests where you just need to beat half the field to double your money. You know, we talk about trying to lock up all of the scoring, play values. That's the key here, right? And two things to talk about, and it comes with the running back situations. And Joe Mixon, our Occupy model uses expected fantasy points on the back end. If you look at most data-driven websites, whether it's PFF, 538, ESPN, they all have some sort of expected fantasy points metric. And basically what it comes down to, there are different ways to calculate. Each site calculates it differently. In essence, it takes a look at a player's opportunities, whether it's targets for receivers or for running backs, their rushing attempts, their targets, their goal line work, where they're seeing opportunity on the field. And based on that opportunity, it lets us know what, on average, the amount of fantasy points that they should score. By looking at expected fantasy points and then turning that into and comparing to actual fantasy points, we can see guys who are underperforming or overperforming. And I think if you played the main slate the last couple of weeks, you know for sure that Joe Mixon has been underperforming in your lineup. Your bankroll would probably say the same thing. But no matter which source you use, Joe Mixon leads the league in expected fantasy points based on his usage. Hasn't gotten the end zone. You see his game log here. 0 touchdowns despite 12, 19, and 27 attempts. Targets 7, 4, and 9. Leads the league in opportunity. Okay. Is he just getting super, super unlucky? Let's go over to NFL Next Gen Stats. And if you look at, this is fastest ball carriers. Let's look at, let's go to rushing here. How about that? And we go to rushing yards over expectation. This is a different metric, uses the tracking chips in Next Gen Stats. And based on where the blockers are set up, where the defense is set up, speed of the ball carrier, you can read about it on the Next Gen Stats website. Takes a look at how many yards should a running back get on each carry. Joe Mixon, based on his attempts, has done the worst in terms of rushing yards. He's gotten 49 yards less than he's expected to have gotten based on the blocks and the speed and the play setup and all those factors that go into it. So, is that Joe Mixon sucking? Is that the blocking sucking? Well, maybe it's just both, right? If you look at Pro Football Focus, who grades every play, Joe Mixon is the worst rated running back on rushing attempts on running backs that have more than 30 carries. So he's playing poorly. Also, the offensive line is the 7th worst run blocking line so far this year. Okay, so you can give him all the opportunities in the world, but if he's not performing well and the line's not performing well, that obviously changes some things. Now, all this goes back to saying for DFS, Mixon is getting the opportunity. In low risk contests, that is all we can ask for. We got a running back that's getting goal line work, working the passing game. He's a low-risk play. High-risk contest until the offensive line gels more. And for the hashtag film guys out there and the film folks who are saying a lot of the Bengals' offensive struggles will come down to lack of communication on the offensive line, sure, right? That can get better. Mixon, he can play better, sure. But for low-risk contests, we're not worried about all that. We know the opportunities there. We're going to play Mixon at 9K. High-risk contest, certainly a different conversation. Now on the Miami side, I think people might rush to play Edmonds this week. They saw he got the 2 touchdowns, right? 15.7 fantasy points. Again, we're looking at underlying opportunity here. Raheem Mostert actually got more rushing attempts, ran more routes, or was targeted on more routes than Chase Edmonds was. Just what happened to Chase Edmonds, while he was in the game, they drove into the red zone. He got the goal line work. So Raheem Mostert, probably a 50-50 shot on who scores the most points tonight. Mostert's 4,400 compared to Edmonds at 6,200. And I think Mostert's going to be a popular low-risk play as a result. Probably a popular value, even in high-risk contests, right? So you get these 4. You get in Tua. That's 2 quarterbacks, 2 running backs. That's easy for low-risk contests, right? Pretty much locks up. Most of the scoring gives you some values. On FanDuel, again, rarely can we play a workhorse running back and the 2 quarterbacks, but Joe Mixon's priced at just $12K, likely due to his lack of performance so far. So we get these 3 guys in, $87.50 per player. That's an easy start to our low-risk lineup. Pretty rare. So, all right, let's go back to DraftKings. Let's talk about high-risk contests, GPPs, leagues, satellites, exponential payouts. You got to be a lot of people to get a lot of money, right? The captain ownership is going to be pretty spread out. Multiple guys over 10% projected. Chase, Tyreek, Joe Burrow we have as the most popular projected captain in this matchup. So pretty interesting. No underperforming wide receivers this week. Week 4 means we do get underperformers, just none in this game, right? So check back the daily plug for the main slate. We got a ton for those. So what do we play here? We look at the field first and foremost. We talked about the Miami being underdogs and the pricing. Most lineups that come from the field are not going to be Miami heavy. What does that mean? Whether it's a Miami captain plus multiple Miami flex players, 4+ Miami players, regardless of who the captain is, that's an easy pivot point. We talk about the different ways to get different in high-risk contests here, right? Playing 3+ Dolphins is an easy way to do that. Playing Tua at captain, going to be super unpopular, given the Q tag and all the other guys in this game, but we've seen him have, occupied members in week 2 saw 2 of the 6 touchdown performance, so it can certainly happen. But you got to figure, in a higher total game with all these receiving options, the hope is that the volume is concentrated. One of these guys scored multiple touchdowns, whether it's Chase, Tyreek, Waddle, even T. Higgins. Those guys make the best type of captains in this high-risk game environment, in this likely high-total game environment. So receiver captains, Chase is second rated in our model today. Got to like Jamar Chase at captain, given his ceiling. So we're big fans of him tonight and any receiver in general in the captain spot. Over on FanDuel, Burrow's he's going to eclipse nearly 50%, going to get close in MVP ownership. Mixon's going to follow right behind him. The easiest pivot for high-risk contests, Tua, right? If everyone's going to play Burrow and they're only 4-point underdogs, maybe they pass a little more. Again, they only had 37 plays last week. It was a super weird game. Expect way more volume tonight. As long as he can hold up and he's fine and good to go, Tua is the easiest MVP pivot that we'll have, and maybe one of the easiest MVP pivots that we've had in this short season. So that'll do it for this video. If you want an in-depth breakdown, you want rankings for every contest type, you want lineup construction tips for specific contests, check out our daily plug. Links in the description. It's posted early afternoons on Mondays and Thursdays for showdown slates. Our writer Bismo does a great job of doing that, so check that out. Again, 75% of our viewers are not subscribed, but most of them come back. To make sure you don't miss a video, just subscribe to the channel. Get notified when we go live. Upload these videos. 5 to 7 videos per week. You don't want to miss them for DFS purposes. Give us a thumbs up if you appreciate the content. It helps out the channel. Lets us know that you like it. Any questions, comment on the video, or join our Discord server. We are happy to answer them anytime throughout the day. Come sweat out the games with us tonight in our Discord server, occupyfantasy.com/Discord. So, Brian Jester for Occupy Fantasy. Appreciate you listening, and good luck in tonight's Dolphins-Bengals showdown slate.